she said. My niece is staying for the summer, so your son needs to sleep in the garage. Girls need privacy. I replied, no. Then I kicked her and her niece out immediately. She screamed, you're putting a child on the street. I replied, you were willing to put mine in a garage. My girlfriend of 8 months just showed me who she really is, and honestly, I dodged a bullet the size of a freight train. Some background first. I'm 42 and divorced for 3 years now. Got primary custody of my son Jake, who's 14. Great kid, honor roll student, plays baseball. My ex moved to another state for work and only sees him during school breaks, so it's just me and him most of the time. We've got a good setup in our house. Nothing fancy, but it works. I do electrical work for a local contractor, steady hours, decent pay. 8 months ago, I met Lisa at a hardware store of all places. She was trying to figure out what size screws she needed for some shelving project. I helped her out, we got to talking, exchanged numbers. She seemed normal at first. Sweet even. Works as a dental hygienist, has her own place, no kids of her own, but said she loved them. Now here's the thing about me. I learned from my marriage that you don't ignore red flags. My ex started small too. Little comments about my friends, trying to change how I dressed, complaining about my hobbies. I let it slide until it became a nightmare. Not making that mistake twice. Lisa started coming around more often after about a month. Jake liked her well enough though, he kept his distance. Smart kid. She'd cook dinner sometimes, watch movies with us, seemed to fit in okay. But I noticed things right away that I didn't let slide. First red flag was when she tried to rearrange my kitchen without asking. I came home from work and half my stuff was moved around. When I asked her about it, she said she was just trying to make it more efficient. I told her straight up that it's my house and she needs to ask before changing anything. She got huffy, but put everything back. Second red flag was her commenting on Jake's eating habits. Kid's not overweight or anything, he's actually pretty athletic. But she started making little remarks about him having seconds or eating snacks. I shut that down immediately. Told her Jake's nutrition is my business, not hers. She backed off, but I could tell she didn't like being called out. Third red flag was the biggest one before this whole summer thing. About 4 months in, she started hinting that Jake should spend more weekends at friends' houses so we could have alone time. I told her no. My time with my son isn't negotiable, and if she can't handle that, then we're not compatible. She dropped it, but again, I could see she wasn't happy. I should mention that Lisa has this sister Karen, who lives about 3 hours away. Real piece of work from what I could tell. Every phone call between them was Karen complaining about something. Her job, her husband, her neighbors, you name it. Lisa would spend hours on these calls just letting her sister dump all over her. I told Lisa once that her sister sounded toxic, and maybe she should set some boundaries. Lisa got defensive, saying family is family. Karen has a 15-year-old daughter named Brittany. According to Lisa, this kid is an angel who can do no wrong. Honor student, beautiful, mature for her age, all that stuff. I'd never met either of them but heard plenty of stories. So about 3 weeks ago, Lisa comes over for dinner. Jake's upstairs doing homework, and she's helping me clean up. That's when she drops the bomb. So I have some news, she says, not making eye contact while she's loading the dishwasher. Karen's having some marriage problems and needs Brittany out of the house for a few weeks while they work things out. I'm listening but already getting a bad feeling. Okay. So what's that got to do with us? Well, I was thinking Brittany could stay here for the summer. She's such a good kid, and it would be nice for her to get away from all the drama. I stopped what I was doing and looked at her. Stay here? Where exactly would she sleep? That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Jake could sleep in the garage for a few weeks. We could set up a bed out there, maybe get a small air conditioner. It would be like camping. I just stared at her. You want my son to sleep in the garage so your niece can have his room? It's not like that. Girls need privacy at that age, you know? Jake's a boy, he'd probably think it's fun sleeping out there. That's when I knew this wasn't gonna work. Not just the summer thing, but the whole relationship. This woman was showing me exactly where my son ranked in her priorities. No, I said. Simple as that. What do you mean no? I mean no. Jake's not sleeping in the garage. If your niece needs a place to stay, she can stay at your apartment. Lisa's face went red. My place is tiny, she needs her own space, and it would only be for a few weeks. Then she can stay at a hotel or with other family. My answer is no. She started getting angry then. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. You never compromise. It's always about Jake this and Jake that. I'm trying to help my family, and you won't even consider it. I'm not compromising my son's comfort in his own home for anyone. Period. So that's it? You won't even think about it? Nope. And the fact that you thought this was even reasonable tells me everything I need to know. She stormed out that night. Didn't hear from her for 2 days. Part of me hoped that was the end of it, but she came back with a different approach. She showed up the next weekend with flowers and an apology. Said she'd been stressed about Karen's situation and hadn't thought it through properly. We talked it out and I thought maybe she understood why her request was so far out of line. Wrong. Last Sunday she comes over for dinner again. Jake's in his room playing some game online with his friends. We're sitting on the couch watching TV when her phone rings. It's Karen, of course. Lisa steps outside to take the call and comes back in about 20 minutes later, looking determined. Okay, so Karen's situation is getting worse. Her husband moved out and she's having a breakdown. Brittany really needs to get out of there. I'm already shaking my head. Lisa, we talked about this. I know, but hear me out. What if we compromise? Jake could sleep on the couch in the living room, and Brittany could have his room, just for a few weeks until Karen gets back on her feet. No. Come on, be reasonable. The couch is comfortable, Jake wouldn't mind. Did you ask Jake what he thinks about giving up his room and sleeping on the couch in his own house? Well, no, but I'm sure he'd understand if we explained the situation. That's when I knew she'd learned nothing from our previous conversation. She was still putting her family's needs above my son's comfort and somehow expected me to go along with it. The answer is still no, Lisa. Jake's not giving up his room or sleeping on the couch. If your niece needs help, there are other options. She got that stubborn look on her face. Like what? Karen can't afford a hotel for weeks, and there's no other family nearby. Not my problem. Wow, just wow. I can't believe how selfish you're being. I'm being selfish? You're asking me to displace my own son in his own home for your family's drama, and I'm the selfish one? She started pacing around my living room. It's not displacement, it's just a temporary adjustment. Families help each other out. She's not my family. She's not Jake's family. And even if she was, Jake comes first in this house. Always. That seemed to really set her off. This is exactly why your marriage failed. You can't compromise. You can't put anyone else's needs first. It's always about you and Jake. Wrong thing to say. My marriage failed because my ex-wife was manipulative and controlling, just like you're being right now. And you're right about one thing. It is always about me and Jake. This is our house, our life, our rules. She was really worked up now. Fine. But when Brittany has to stay in that toxic house while her parents scream at each other every night, that's on you. A 15-year-old girl needs stability, and you're too stubborn to help. Again, not my problem. You have your own place, Karen has other family. There are solutions that don't involve my son giving up his space. She left again that night, but this time I could tell she wasn't done. Sure enough, 2 days later she shows up with a teenager in tow. I'm getting home from work around 6 and there's Lisa's car in my driveway. She's standing by the front door with a girl who I assume is Brittany. The kid actually seems nice enough from what I can see. Quiet, polite when Lisa introduces us. What's going on here? I ask, though I already know. Karen had to go to the hospital today. Panic attack. She begged me to take Brittany for a few weeks while she gets help. I couldn't say no to a child in crisis. I look at this girl who's clearly uncomfortable and confused. She's got a suitcase and a backpack like she's ready to move in. Lisa, we talked about this multiple times. I know, but this is an emergency. Look at her, she's been through hell today. I just need you to be flexible for once. Where exactly did you plan for her to sleep? Well, I was hoping we could work something out. Maybe Jake wouldn't mind sharing his space temporarily. I can see where this is going. Jake's at baseball practice. Come inside, we'll figure this out. The three of us go into my house. I tell Brittany to have a seat in the living room and ask if she wants something to drink. She seems like a good kid stuck in a bad situation, but that doesn't change my position. I pull Lisa into the kitchen where we can talk privately. What's your plan here? I ask. My plan is to help my niece. I thought you'd understand. I understand you're trying to help family. What I don't understand is why you keep trying to make it my son's problem. It's not making it his problem, it's just asking for a little flexibility. By doing what exactly? Where is she supposed to sleep? Lisa takes a deep breath like she's about to say something she knows I won't like. I was thinking Jake could sleep in the garage for a few weeks. We could make it really comfortable out there. And there it was. After everything we'd discussed, after me saying no multiple times, she still thought she could wear me down. Absolutely not. Come on, girls need privacy at that age. Jake's younger, he'd probably think it was an adventure. My son is not sleeping in the garage, period. It's just for a few weeks. I don't care if it's for one night. The answer is no. She starts getting angry again. So what am I supposed to do? Tell a 15-year-old girl that she can't stay here because you won't let your son sleep in the garage for a few weeks? You're supposed to take her to your place like I suggested from the beginning. My place is too small. Then you should have thought of that before bringing her here. That's when she really lost it. Fine, you want to be the bad guy here? You want to turn away a child who needs help? That's who you are. What I want is for you to respect my boundaries and stop trying to manipulate me into displacing my son. It's not manipulation, it's asking for help. It's manipulation when you bring her here without permission and try to guilt me into changing my mind. Lisa's face was getting red, and she was starting to raise her voice. I can't believe how heartless you're being. This is a child we're talking about. And so is Jake, my child, in his own home. So that's it? You're just going to kick us out? I'm not kicking anyone out. I'm telling you that your niece can't stay here and displace my son. You have other options. Like what? Tell me exactly what other options I have right now. Your apartment, a hotel, other family members, friends. I don't know, and honestly, it's not my job to figure out. She was really angry now and not keeping her voice down anymore. This is unbelievable. I'm asking for one small compromise and you can't even do that. Small compromise? You want my son to sleep in the garage. How is that small? That's when Jake came home from practice. He walked in through the garage door into the kitchen where we were arguing. Poor kid looked confused and worried. Hey buddy, how was practice? I asked, trying to sound normal. Good. What's going on? I could hear you guys from outside. Lisa jumped in before I could answer. Jake, how would you feel about sleeping in the garage for a few weeks? We could set it up really nice with a bed and everything. It would be like camping. I held up my hand. Jake, go get cleaned up. We'll talk in a minute. But Jake's not stupid. Why would I sleep in the garage? Lisa looks at him with this fake sweet smile. My niece Brittany needs a place to stay for a while and girls need privacy. It would just be temporary. Jake looks at me and I can see he's confused and a little hurt. Dad? Go get cleaned up, son. This conversation is between me and Lisa. After Jake heads upstairs, Lisa turns to me. See? He didn't say no. He'd probably be fine with it. He's 14. He's not going to argue with an adult about sleeping arrangements in front of you. But I'm his father, and I say no. You're being ridiculous. I'm being a father. That's when Brittany appeared in the kitchen doorway. Aunt Lisa? Is everything okay? Lisa immediately switched to her sweet voice. Everything's fine, honey. We're just working out the sleeping arrangements. I looked at this kid who was clearly picking up on the tension and felt bad for her. None of this was her fault. Brittany, I'm sorry, but there's been a misunderstanding. My son's room isn't available and we don't have space for a long-term guest. Your aunt will need to make other arrangements. The girl looked confused and hurt. But Aunt Lisa said I could stay here. Your Aunt Lisa made a mistake. She should have asked me first. Lisa was furious. Don't make this about me making mistakes. You're the one who won't help a child. I'm the one who won't sacrifice my son's comfort for a situation that has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with us. We're in a relationship. Our families should matter to each other. Your family matters to you. My family matters to me. But your family's problems don't become my son's problems. She was getting really worked up now, and Brittany was starting to look scared. So that's it? You're just gonna turn us away? I'm going to suggest you take Brittany to your place like I said from the beginning. My place is too small. Then figure something else out. Lisa turned to Brittany. Honey, go wait in the car for a minute. The adults need to talk. After Brittany left, Lisa really let me have it. I can't believe you're doing this. After everything I've done for you, after all the times I've cooked dinner and helped with Jake and been there for you, this is how you treat my family? What you've done for me. Lisa, you've been my girlfriend for 8 months. You're not my wife, you're not Jake's stepmother, you don't live here. You have no say in how I run my household. So I'm just some random girlfriend to you? You're someone I've been dating who just showed me that you think your wants are more important than my son's needs. It's not about wants, it's about helping family. It's about you thinking you can override my decisions as a parent in my own house. She was really angry now. Fine. You know what? Maybe we're not compatible after all. Maybe I need someone who can actually compromise. Maybe you do. That seemed to surprise her. I think she expected me to backtrack and try to work things out. You're really going to end things over this? I'm not ending anything. I'm just not willing to negotiate my son's well-being. She stared at me for a long moment, then started gathering her purse. This is crazy. You're choosing a sleeping arrangement over our relationship. I'm choosing my son over someone who thinks he should sleep in the garage so her niece can have his room. It's just for a few weeks. It doesn't matter if it's for one night. The answer is no. She headed toward the door. When you change your mind, and you will when you realize how unreasonable you're being, you know my number. I won't be changing my mind. She paused at the door. You're really willing to throw away what we have over this? What we have isn't worth throwing away my son's comfort and security. She left and took Brittany with her. I felt bad for the kid, but not bad enough to change my mind. Jake came downstairs about 20 minutes later. Is Lisa gone? Yeah, she's gone. Is she coming back? I don't think so, buddy. He sat down on the couch next to me. Was she really going to make me sleep in the garage? She wanted you to give up your room for her niece. That's weird. Yeah, it is. Are you okay? Smart kid. I'm fine. You hungry? Let's order pizza. That was 2 weeks ago. Lisa texted me a few times the first week trying to get me to reconsider. I didn't respond. Then she called and left a voicemail saying I was being stubborn and that Brittany was miserable staying in Lisa's small apartment. Still didn't respond. Yesterday she showed up at my work. Apparently she'd taken vacation time to deal with the Brittany situation and things weren't going well. Her small apartment was driving them both crazy. She was spending money on takeout because there wasn't room to cook properly, and Brittany was complaining about everything. I need you to reconsider, she said. This isn't working out. I told you it wouldn't. Come on, can't we work something out? What if we just did weekends? Or what if Jake slept on the couch just a few nights a week? No. You're being impossible. I'm being consistent. Brittany's miserable and it's affecting my relationship with my sister. Sounds like a you problem. She got angry again. This is exactly why you're going to end up alone. No woman is going to put up with a man who can't compromise. Good. I'd rather be alone than with someone who thinks my son should sacrifice his comfort for her family's problems. She called me a few more names and left. Haven't heard from her since. Jake asked me about it when I got home. Dad, was Lisa here bothering you at work? How did you know? Tommy's mom saw her in the parking lot and said she looked upset. Tommy's one of Jake's teammates. She's mad because I won't let her niece stay in your room. Good, I like my room. Me too, buddy. It's your space. Looking back on the whole thing, I'm glad it happened when it did. 8 months in instead of 8 years. Lisa showed me exactly who she was when she got what she wanted. Someone who thought my son's needs were negotiable. The crazy part is, she still doesn't understand why I said no. She keeps acting like I was being unreasonable when all I did was protect my kid's space in his own home. Some of my friends think I was too harsh, but most agree that I dodged a bullet. My brother said any woman who thinks a 14-year-old should sleep in the garage so her niece can have his room isn't someone you want to build a life with. He's right. I learned from my first marriage that you don't ignore red flags and you don't compromise on your kids. Lisa failed both tests. Jake's happier now. He was always polite to Lisa, but I can tell he's more relaxed with her gone. We're back to our normal routine, and honestly, it's better this way. I'm not against dating again, but next time I'll be even more careful about boundaries. My son comes first, period. Anyone who has a problem with that isn't someone I need in my life. Update: this blew up more than I expected. Thanks for all the support and messages. A few people asked for updates, so here's what's happened since I posted. Lisa texted me yesterday morning. Long message about how she's been thinking about everything and realizes she handled it wrong. Said she wants to talk, and maybe we can work things out if I'm willing to be more understanding of family obligations. I didn't respond. Then she called last night. I let it go to voicemail. She basically said the same thing as the text, but added that Brittany really likes me and Jake and thinks we could all be a good family together if I just opened my mind. Still didn't respond. About an hour later, she showed up at my house. Jake was upstairs doing homework, and I answered the door. She looked like she'd been crying. "Can we please just talk?" she asked. "There's nothing to talk about. I know I messed up. I should have asked you before making plans with Brittany. But can't we get past this?" "There's nothing to get past. You showed me who you are and what you think of my son's place in your life." "That's not fair. I like Jake. He's a great kid. You like him enough to stick him in the garage so your niece could have his room." "It wasn't like that, and you know it." "That's exactly what it was like." She started crying then. "Please don't throw away what we have over one mistake." "It wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. First you tried to rearrange my kitchen, then you criticized Jake's eating, then you wanted him out of the house more so we could have alone time. The garage thing was just the final straw. I was trying to help my family by sacrificing mine. Jake would have been fine in the garage for a few weeks. And there it was again. Even now, even after everything, she still thought it was reasonable. Lisa, the fact that you still think that was okay tells me everything I need to know. We're done. You're really going to end things over sleeping arrangements? I'm ending things because you don't respect my role as Jake's father or his right to feel secure in his own home. She cried some more and asked if there was anything she could do to fix it. I told her no and asked her to leave. She texted me again this morning asking if I'd at least consider couples counseling. I blocked her number. Jake saw her car in the driveway last night and asked if everything was okay. I told him she was just saying goodbye, and we talked about how sometimes relationships don't work out even when both people are trying. "Are you sad about it?" he asked. "A little, but I'm more relieved than sad." "Me too. She was nice sometimes, but she made me feel like I was in the way." That broke my heart a little. Kids pick up on everything. You're never in the way, buddy. This is your home, and you come first. Always. I know. That's why I wasn't worried when she wanted me to sleep in the garage. I knew you wouldn't let that happen. Smart kid. He trusted me to protect him, and I did. That's what matters. A few people in the comments asked about Brittany and whether I feel bad for her. I do feel bad for her. She's a kid in a bad situation through no fault of her own. But feeling bad for her doesn't mean sacrificing my son's comfort to help her. Lisa had options: her apartment, other family, friends, even a hotel for a few days while she figured out something permanent. She chose the nuclear option of trying to displace my son instead of using any of those other choices. That tells me everything I need to know about her priorities and her character. Some people said I should have compromised and let Brittany sleep on the couch or something. But that wasn't what Lisa was asking for. She specifically wanted Jake out of his room and sleeping in the garage. When I said no to that, she suggested he sleep on the couch instead, still displacing him from his own space. The principle is the same. It's his house and his room. He shouldn't have to give up either for someone else's family emergency. I'm not against helping people in crisis, but I'm also not willing to make my son uncomfortable in his own home to do it. Final update. Lisa's sister Karen called me today. Apparently she still had my number from when Lisa had put me down as an emergency contact months ago. Karen wanted to tell me how disappointed she was in my selfishness and how I'd traumatized her daughter. I let her talk for about 2 minutes, then hung up. These people really don't get it. Jake's doing great. We're planning a camping trip for next weekend. Real camping, not garage camping. Life is good when you stick to your priorities.